Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to share something with you that I bought on a whim. I bought it during a sale, and if you've been watching my channel for a little bit now, you know from previous videos that I am a homeschool mom, so that is something that takes up a lot of my life and time. So you could probably guess that maybe it has something to do with that. And if you saw my video about how I lost 50 pounds, I still have a little more to go, but that would be with Trim Healthy Mama. So, you know, those two things are two things that I'm very passionate about, that I spend a lot of time with, working on, cooking, being mindful what I put in my body. Then homeschool is like a whole nother job. That is why I take this summer off, because homeschool just keeps me so busy, like 9.5 months out of the year, that I just need to gather myself together before starting back up and making sure everything's organized and ready to go, and also working on projects that I don't get to work on during the school year because they just get put off because I just don't have time to get around to them. But anyway, so I bought something, it was on sale, and I'm really excited to share it with you all because it's something that I wasn't even, it wasn't even in my view, but then it was brought to my attention during the sale. I mean, I knew about it, but I was like, I don't know. So I decided to buy it, and I'm actually really glad that I did. So I'm going to share it with you. So I bought the Trim Healthy You curriculum, which is for kids. It is, this one is the Caterpillar one, and it is for elementary age kids. I would say probably 3rd grade and up. You could maybe do 2nd grade too, but that's just my guess. I don't know that it says on here, but it does say elementary. It just doesn't, I don't think it, oh, it says grades 3 to 5, which is exactly what I figured would be a good age, because it does have them cooking a little, and with cooking, you definitely don't want a small child working with anything hot. But yeah, unless you know, you're there and they're just assisting you, which I do have my younger kids, maybe stir stuff or measure stuff out at a pretty young age, because they want to help. It's not that I'm making them do it, it's they want to help. So it comes with this workbook. It's loaded with information. You cannot photocopy the pages. So what I'm gonna do, since I have multiple kiddos that are gonna be using this, anytime there's something where they need to fill in the blank, like this one, which is go to your kitchen and look for real food and make what you find. And well, make a list of what you find. I'll just have them do that on a regular plain sheet of paper. I mean, that's what I did in school, because textbooks, sometimes they'd have questions in there and you're not allowed to write in the books. So you just do it on lined paper. So I figure that's the way to get the most out of it. Just a little disclaimer, they did warn, part of the reason why I decided to go ahead and get it now was they aren't going to be printing it anymore. So it's out of print, but you can still buy it, but you have to do a digital copy. So if it's not sold out after the sale, which I don't know if I saw an update on whether or not it was sold out, but if it's sold out, then it's gonna be all digital copies from now on. They only have a beginner and an intermediate. They don't have a high school one quite yet. They think they might. I think that's what I read, was that they might come out with a high school one at some point. So this is the elementary one. I'll show you the other things that it came with other than the workbook. First off, in the workbook, the chapters are in the beginning. Chapter 2 is on protein, because Trim Healthy Mama is all about protein, anchoring everything with protein. Energizing carbs, satisfying fats, veggies, so long sugar, superfoods, Chapter 8 is hydrate your body. Chapter 9 is move your body. And 10 is a healthy you now and forever. So the reason I decided to get this was since my kids sort of eat this way a little bit, like usually just for dinner. But I just wanted them to have a better understanding of why I eat the way I eat. And also just because I like health and nutrition. I think it's very important for all of us to be mindful of moving our bodies. Like for me, I do strength training 4 to 6 days a week. It depends on how busy the week gets. I try to do it on the weekends as well if I have time, but sometimes I'm just running errands or whatever, don't get to do it. So 4 to 6 times a week, I'm strength training. And I also try to at least go on walks, like at least a few times a week while the weather's nice. Because again, Pacific Northwest, we don't have nice weather most of the year. It's mostly rain. So, so just like moving your body is like super important. I did think about running for a little while, but then my mind, I'm like, hey, remember you have a bad knee. So I've had a bad knee since like high school. I kind of had a little injury and it just hasn't been the same since. And then also it's like can be kind of hard on your hips because running isn't low impact. So as much as I want to be a runner and have thought about it, I'm like, the reality is I probably shouldn't because I don't want to like cause injury to myself because I already have the bad knee. And I also don't want to like, you know, make it feel bad. Even if it's not injured, just like have it sore. It's just, for me, walking makes more sense. Yeah, it's just as long as you're moving your body, it's good. So then another thing it comes with are recipe cards. Most of the recipes in here are adapted from the cookbooks that I use every day. So there's some things that they've probably already have. Like I looked through here and the first recipe, maybe not the first recipe. Yeah, the first recipe, bangin' ranch drums, is something that my kids love, especially my 12-year-old. I had to think about how old he is because he has birthday in October. I know he's going to be a teenager this year. So yeah, so my 12-year-old, this is like one of his favorite recipes is bangin' ranch drums. He like goes crazy for it. He's like, yeah, when he knows we're having it, he's like bangin' ranch drums. But it's got breakfasts in here. It's got smoothies. It's got sweets that don't use sugar. So yeah, there's a total of 40 recipe cards in here. And it also gives how, like the abbreviations for tablespoon, teaspoon, OZ is for ounces, LB is for pound. A dunk, which is a term that Trim Healthy Mamas are familiar with, very familiar with, is just this little teeny tiny measuring spoon, and it's 1/32 of a teaspoon. And then a scoop of whey, their whey is 4 tablespoons. And then it just gives some like other things. And then like make sure you tell, it also says make sure you tell your parents if you're gonna be cooking so that they're aware that you might need help or might be using some hot things. And then another thing it comes with is exercise cards. These are the beginner level ones. And they just have like these cute little doodles for the names. And then on the back side of each one, it tells you what exactly do they mean by crazy dance. So, or whatever, Speedy Gonzalez intervals, what does that mean? So it just gives exercises for kids to do. One of my sons has been using, he's 14. When you have 10 kids, you start to, and they just had birthdays, because we have a lot of birthdays in the summer, it gets kind of jumbled in there, like how old they are. So he just turned 14. He actually uses Fitness Blender a lot for some minor strength training. But yeah, and then it also, this again, beginner level, it comes with a non-starchy vegetable checklist. Let me show you what that looks like. It's just a little non-starchy checklist right here. Zoom in on that. And then it also comes with Superfood Spotlight. I might have them maybe do this on like a piece of paper so that we can reuse these. Yeah, I'll talk about that in a different video, but yeah. List of healthy fat choices. So it talks about like butter and ghee, which ghee, for those who don't know, is just clarified butter. Coconut, nuts, seeds, red meat, lots of things on there, and it has pictures to go with it. List of carb sources, healthy carbs, all fruit, sweet potatoes, whole grains, beans, all those sorts of things. For bread, the thing with Trim Healthy Mama is whole grain, either soaked or sprouted, in case you missed that. Soaked would just be like whole wheat sourdough. But yeah, and then a list of protein sources like meats, fish, eggs and egg whites, cottage cheese. I actually use a lot of cottage cheese. And Greek yogurt. So, and then it also comes with some coloring pages. I believe this is a baobab tree because baobab, super good for you. I throw it in smoothies or sippers sometimes. Sippers are just like drinks that you just like slowly sip on throughout the day. They're not like high in protein or carbs or fats or anything. You just like sip on them to refresh, and also they have nutritional benefits. Then like a non-starchy coloring page. Then there's a Bible verse one, Psalm 139:14. And then the last one is Where's My Protein? And it's this cool coloring page. I think they did a really good job making this for kids, especially for that age range. I feel like it's perfect, and I think my kids will love it, and it'll give them a better understanding of why you eat this way. I don't know if I'm going to do it this year or next year, so I'm undecided. I might tack it on to this year if I have the energy and can get it all pulled together soon. But it also gives you like a parent portal card, and if you get the curriculum, you have to like log in and stuff. So you just use your login, and it connects you to the parent portal. So I also got the intermediate, which is middle school, ages grades 6th through 8th or higher. And it's kind of the same thing. You have like the nutrition workbook. And again, anytime I see pages with lines, I'll just have them use paper so we can reuse it. And yeah, it'll be good. And it just has like good illustrations, lots of information. And it also tells them what recipe number it is, because the recipe cards all have numbers on it. So it's like, this is that recipe, and maybe you should make it now type of thing. So yeah, so it's really well put together in my opinion, and totally age appropriate. And if you're looking for a health curriculum, I'd recommend it. You might just have to download all the worksheets though. And then again, recipe cards, different recipes than what's in the beginner one. Ooh, one of my favorite recipes is actually in here, and it's a family favorite too, the cabbage and sausage skillet. Super good. But yeah, so it comes with all these recipe cards. Lots of them. There's 64. The beginner one only has 40, I think. So 64, again, all adapted from the cookbooks, or most of them adapted from the cookbooks that I already use. So super cool. So yeah, there's probably a lot of things in here that my kids have already had and like. And then we have the exercise cards again. It says intermediate, but I flipped through and all the exercises are like the same exercises as the beginner level. It just says intermediate on the front. But yeah, so then one thing that I like that they have a lot of these in here. Let's see if I can find where it stops. Not that one. Right here. There's quite a few of these in here, but it's basically a food tracker for kids, but it's keeping track of all your healthy foods. So it's got like your protein, you write breakfast, that's what it gives you example at the top. So breakfast, they didn't have any, but then it tells you like they had butter for fats, carbs, they had oatmeal, no veggies, and other would be juice or something like that. So, and then lunch, dinner, and it just like gives an example of how to use it and what the B, L, D, and S. S would be your snack. So, yeah. Which is cool. There's a few of those, like, I don't know, maybe 10 in there. I don't know how many. And then they also have a active versus sedentary tracker. So sedentary hours, it's just to give you like keep a kid mindful of like how much they're moving. And so they put like the hours that maybe they're just sitting around playing video games or whatever, you know, or just sitting around doing schoolwork. And then active hours like exercise, going to the park, going swimming, stuff like that. So that's super helpful. And then water intake. Let's face it, even middle schoolers, not always great with drinking water. So it also has this handy dandy water tracker. It's like fill a cup for each glass you drink. The goal is to finish the week with all your cups filled. So there's that. And then they have the non-starchy veggie checklist. List of healthy fat sources again. Whoops. List of carb sources. Again, like in the elementary. And then list of protein sources. And then the last thing that they have in here is Journey to a Trim Healthy You. And it just like has what is healthy. Number 2 is powerful protein. Number 3 is smart carbohydrates. Number 5 is amazing veggies. 6 is sweet. 7 is superfoods. 8 is drink up. 9 changes, and 10 exercise. 11 out and about. And it just has like a bunch of information down there. And it's kind of made to look like a board game. Start and finish. So that's fun because my kids like board games. So anyway, I think it's going to be really good. And I think my kids are going to learn a lot about why their mom has been like saying, hey, you need to eat more protein, or hey, you need to watch how much sugar you're having, stuff like that. But yeah, so I think it'll be helpful as like a family for them to like, you know, as a member of the family to understand better why I eat the way I do and why maybe they should think more about what they're putting into their bodies and how much they're moving. So yeah, I will probably use other health curriculums as well in the future. And once I get around to using those, I will probably post a video about it. But yeah, this is what I'm going to use probably first because I just want them to get their mind focused on something. And I feel like Trim Healthy Mama is a very, very well researched way of eating. I'm not going to say diet because it's really a lifestyle change. It's not a diet. So yeah, so I just feel that it's very well researched. Every product they have is well researched, and they're constantly trying to make things better or come out with new stuff. Like their protein powders, like their flavored ones, they just optimize so that it helps better with protein absorption. So things like that. And it's just been really, really good for me. I see differences in my skin. Honestly, transparency for a minute. I haven't been that great this month. I've been kind of slacking a little bit and maybe eating things I shouldn't, and my body feels it. I can tell, like my joints kind of get achy. My stomach just feels like, not necessarily heartburn, but just like that gross, like acidic, off balance thing going on. So yeah, I'm definitely feeling it, more bloat and just not feeling great. So my goal is to get refocused, get mad at myself again, and really harness that energy to like get it done. ask God for help too, honestly, and also accountability. And that is why I decided to be transparent, because accountability is a huge deal. And if I say, hey, I haven't been great, I hope someone will be like, hey, how you doing? And also just if I'm saying it, maybe it'll motivate myself more, because I don't want to be fake and say I'm not gonna do something. I'm gonna do something and then not do it, like getting on plan better. So yeah, so I like to be a person of my word. So yeah, but I hope that maybe encouraged you all to go check it out. Like I said, it's out of print, unfortunately. I don't know if they sold out of it, but yeah, you can still go get digital copies, I guess. I haven't checked their website since after the sale. Their sale was like 2 weeks ago. So yeah, so go check it out. I will put a link down below to the website, because it's not on, that's the other thing. It's not on the Trim Healthy Mama normal website. So it took me forever to figure out where it was. I had to like look in the group that I'm in to try to find it. I'm like, where is it? It's a totally different website. So I will post the link for it down below. Maybe some of y'all will want to check it out. But maybe some of you also have a health curriculum that you really love, because I feel like that's one of those things where it's kind of hard to find something that you really like, because I did use something different for my other kids. I might go back to it because it's more of like, I feel high school level. So I might go back to that for when my kids are in high school and they need like a health program. But I'm open to suggestions as well. So that is gonna do it for me today. I hope this video was helpful to you, and yeah, I will see you all next time. Bye.